Division of fractions. How do we divide fractions? To divide fractions, we multiply the dividend by the reciprocal of the divisor, and then we simplify the final answer. To understand this, let's have an example. We have here 3 all over 8 divided by 4 over 5. The longest line here, this is called the vinculum. Okay, so the longest line is what separates the numerator from the denominator. In dividing fractions, always look for the longest vinculum so that you will know which is the numerator and which is the denominator. So basing from the step in dividing fractions, we are going to multiply the dividend. Okay, so this is the dividend, our numerator, or the first fraction is our dividend. Okay, so this is as is, this will still be 3 over 8. And we are going to multiply this by the reciprocal of the divisor. Now, when we speak of reciprocal, the numerator here becomes the denominator, and the denominator becomes the numerator. Okay, so the reciprocal now of 4 over 5, this will be 5 all over 4. Again, the denominator becomes the numerator, and the numerator becomes the denominator. And we are now in multiplying fractions. So the rule in multiplying fractions, just multiply all the numerators and also multiply all the denominators. We have here 3 multiplied by 5, that is equal to 15. And we have 8 multiplied by 4, that is 32. Now, let us look if we can still simplify 15 over 32. So, we cannot simplify 15 over 32 anymore. Since we cannot simplify this anymore, therefore, 15 all over 32 now is our final answer. Let's have another example. We have here 7 all over 12, 14 all over 4. So, let's identify here our dividend and our divisor. So 7 over 12, this is our dividend, and 14 all over 4, this is our divisor. So basing from the step in dividing fractions, we are going to multiply the dividend. Again, our dividend is 7 over 12, so we will have here 7 over 12. And then we are going to multiply this by the reciprocal of the divisor. Our divisor, which is 14 all over 4. Okay, so if we get the reciprocal of 14 all over 4, the numerator becomes the denominator, and the denominator becomes the numerator. 14 over 4, this will now be equal to 4 all over 14. And before we multiply fractions, let us see first if we can cancel out some terms. That 7 and 14 can be divided by 7 since 7 is common between the two of them. So 7 divided by 7, this is equal to 1. 14 divided by 7, this is equal to 2. And we can also see that 4 and 12 can be divided by 4 since 4 is common between the two of them. So 4 divided by 4, this is equal to 1. And 12 divided by 4, this is equal to 3. So we are now going to multiply what remains. We are going to multiply 1 by 1. So 1 multiplied by 1, that is equal to 1. And then we will multiply 3 by 2. So 3 multiplied by 2, that is positive 6. Okay, so we cannot simplify this anymore. Therefore, 1 all over 6 is our final answer. For our next example, we have here 8 and 2 over 5 divided by positive 9. As you can see, we have here our numerator, which is 8 and 2 over 5, and our denominator is positive 9. To divide fractions involving mixed numbers, first we have to convert mixed numbers to improper fractions. So again, to convert this, we are going to multiply the denominator to the whole number. So we will have here 8 multiplied by 5, and then we are going to add the numerator, which is plus 2. And then for the denominator, we will just copy the denominator, which is 5. And then we have here positive 9. Now, to make this as fraction, we will just divide this by 1. So this will be 9 all over 1. So continuing, we will have here 8 multiplied by 5, that is 40. 40 plus 2, that is 42. So 42 all over 5, all over 9 over 1. And then we can now divide these two fractions. This will be our dividend, and this is our divisor. Okay, so the rule for dividing fractions, we are going to multiply the dividend, again that is 42 all over 5, multiply this by the reciprocal of our denominator. The reciprocal now of 9 over 1, this will be 1 all over 9. Okay, and then we will multiply here all the numerators and multiply also all the denominators. We can proceed with multiplication since there are no numbers that we can cancel out. And this will now be 42 multiplied by 1, that is 42 all over 5 multiplied by 9, that is 45. We cannot simplify 42 over 45 anymore. And since we cannot simplify this anymore, 42 all over 45 is our final answer. For our next example, we have here 8 all over 15 divided by 2 over 3 and divided by another fraction 3 all over 5. Now to solve this fraction, we are going first to divide the first two fractions. Okay, so we will divide these two fractions, and we will have here 8 all over 15 divided by 2 over 3. So this is our dividend and this is our divisor. We will just multiply the dividend. Again, our dividend is 8 all over 15, and we are going to multiply this by the reciprocal of 2 over 3. The reciprocal now of 2 over 3, this will be equal to 3 all over 2. And looking at the two fractions, we can see that we can cancel out terms. 8 and 2, we can divide them by 2 since 2 is common between them. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 2 divided by 2, that is positive 1. 3 and 15, we can divide them also. 3 is common between them, so we will divide them by 3. 3 divided by 3, this is equal to 1. 15 divided by 3, this is equal to 5. And we can now multiply all the numerators, and we can also multiply all the denominators. 4 multiplied by 1, that will be equal to 4, and 5 multiplied by 1, that will be equal to 5. We cannot simplify this anymore, so we can now proceed with dividing this by 3 all over 5. So we have here 4 over 5 divided by 3 all over 5. This is our dividend and this is our divisor. So again, to divide fractions, we are going to multiply the dividend, which is 4 over 5. Multiply this by the reciprocal of our denominator. This will now become 5 over 3. And as we can see from the two fractions, we can cancel out both 5's. So 5 divided by 5, that is equal to 1. 5 divided by 5, that is equal to 1. And multiplying all the numerators and multiplying all the denominators. 4 multiplied by 1, that is equal to 4. And 1 multiplied by 3, that is equal to 3. 4 over 3, this is an improper fraction. Let us change this to a mixed number. 4 divided by 3, the whole number here is 1, and then we will copy the denominator. And for the numerator, that will be 4 minus the product of the whole number and the denominator, that will be 1 multiplied by 3. And this will now be 1. 4 minus 3, that is equal to 1, all over 3. Therefore, 1 and 1 over 3, this is now our final answer. For our next example, we have here 2 and 5 over 9 divided by 3 and 2 over 4. This is our dividend and this is our divisor. So since both the dividend and the divisors are mixed numbers, we need to convert them to improper fractions. So let us first convert the numerator. We will have here 2 multiplied by 9. Okay, so 2 multiplied by 9, and this will be added by the numerator, which is 5. This is our numerator for our first fraction, and the denominator would still be 9. And for the numerator of our second fraction, this will be the whole number, which is 3 multiplied by the denominator, which is 4, added by the numerator, and the denominator would still be 4. And then we have here 18 plus 5, that would be equal to 23 all over 9. And this will be divided by 3 multiplied by 4 is 12 plus 2, that is 14 all over 4. And for the rule in dividing fractions, we are going to multiply the dividend. Our dividend is 23 all over 9. Multiply this by the reciprocal of our denominator. The reciprocal now would be 4 all over 14. 1. And looking at our fraction here, we can see that we can divide 4 and 14 by 2. So 4 divided by 2, that is 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. And then we will have here 23 multiplied by 2, that will give us positive 46. All over 9 multiplied by 7, this will give us positive 63. We cannot simplify 46 all over 63 anymore. And since we cannot simplify this anymore, therefore, this is now our final answer.